it comes to narcissistic individuals, they do not do responsibility. To them, everybody else is at fault, never themselves. Now, when you're dealing with people in general, you can call them out on an action, call them out on a behaviour, call them out on a white lie, hoping that they will reflect and change. Just as when we slip up ourselves, we hope that somebody who is genuine will call us out on our behaviour so that we can do better as a person. So you can often call a narcissistic individual out believing that you are helping them in some way, when what you're actually doing is threatening them. You're threatening their sense of entitlement, you're threatening their control, you're threatening the belief that they're special. Narcissistic individuals don't appreciate being held accountable or called out. Instead, they play many different mind games in order to protect their ego. When you try and call a narcissist out, when you try and hold them accountable, they will go all out to deflect. Instead of taking responsibility for their behaviour, narcissists will go all out to deflect the blame onto others. If you confront a narcissist about not particularly being helpful with something, they can turn around and respond with things such as, well, you never asked for my help. However, there's no winning with a narcissistic individual, because if you do ask for their help, they might offer to help, but they will do it badly, and they will do it badly on purpose. They're weaponized incompetence. And then if you try and hold them accountable and give them some form of constructive feedback, they play the victim. They get offended. See, this is why I don't do anything for you. This is why I don't bother. Look at the state of you. I can't get anything right by you, can I? So then you find yourself picking up their slack and not calling them out, because it always ends up with you feeling bad. If you try and hold a narcissist accountable, they can come up you with their gaslighting. They're looking to get you to feel like you're the one that's the problem, like you're the one that's going crazy, like you're the one that's misread the whole situation. Narcissists want to get you to doubt your version of events. They go all out to twist the truth to protect themselves and make you look like you're the issue. Narcissistic individuals tend to use a lot of future faking. So they will promise you something in the future to get their needs met in the present. And then once their needs have been met, they forget about that promise they made. Yet if you dare to call them out on their broken promises, they can just turn around with their gaslighting and claim, I never said that. You must have misheard me. You must be imagining things. Oh, here we go, making things up in our head again. Narcissists can also react to you trying to hold them accountable with their anger and their rage and their aggression. They're looking to intimidate you to a point where you fear speaking up against them. Narcissists can react with that intense anger so that they can avoid accountability for their behaviour. If you dare to ask why they are late again, because with a narcissist it's a pattern of behaviour. We can all run late, we can all apologise, we can all, with modern technology, send a message and say, sorry, running a little bit late. With a narcissist, they'll turn around and say, you didn't tell me the right time. They shift the blame onto you. Or they turn around and claim, you're the one that's always nagging me over the smallest of things. I do not have time for this right now. So you feel bad for daring to even bring up the conversation with them, causing you to walk on eggshells around them and no longer bring things up. There's no healthy communication with the narcissist. Try and have that communication with a narcissist and they just try and make you feel small, try and make you look bad, and then they play the victim and accuse you of the one who's trying to make them look bad. Playing the victim is another classic tactic of a narcissist when you try to hold them accountable for their behaviour. Instead of them admitting any form of fault, they will act like they're the one who has been wronged. If you call them out for their cheating, they will go all out to accuse you of going through their things, that they can't trust you. Catch a narcissist cheating and they'll never trust you again. They'll accuse you of not giving them enough attention. It's always somebody else's fault, never their own. They'll accuse the person they cheated on you with of not leaving them alone. A narcissist, if you try and hold them accountable, can go for their passive, aggressive, silent treatments. They can stop talking to you to punish you for daring to hold them accountable, stopping you from daring to approach certain subjects with them in future out of fear that they might even disappear for 2 or 3 weeks. They might ghost you and you're panicking whether they're okay or not. Even after a simple disagreement, which we can all have, they can ignore your calls, they can ignore your messages, leaving you wondering what you've done wrong. Now, on the flip side of this, when you realise that there's no healthy communication to be had with a narcissist and you have a disagreement and you try to hold them accountable and they try to hold you accountable, they're going to try and put all the responsibility onto you, in which case you can then sort of recognise that this isn't going to work and you might stop communicating with them. That doesn't make you a narcissistic individual. That makes you recognise that they're not interested in taking on board any sort of constructive feedback. They're not interested in seeing your point of view. They lack the empathy to care. They're interested in getting everything their own way. And you might as well bang your head against a brick wall because you're not going to get anywhere when it comes to healthy communication with a narcissist, even over the simplest of disagreement. They're going to make out you're at fault, they're going to try and guilt trip you, and they're going to try and get you to work harder to make it up to them. Narcissists can also come at you with their projection. They can accuse you of the things that they are actually doing to you. They will unjustly accuse you. So if you're not cheating, they'll accuse you of cheating on them. You can simply make the effort to go to the gym, or you can simply just put some clothes on to nip to the shop and they'll be there with, ooh, who are you trying to impress? And that's because this is where they're coming from. They're trying to constantly impress people to gain the admiration and the attention that they so desperately crave. When a narcissist has been lying to you, they'll accuse you of being the liar. When they're dishonest, they'll accuse you of being dishonest. They will claim that you're the one that lies about everything when it's actually them. They can apologise, but it's a false apology, or it has strings attached. Narcissists don't usually apologise because they don't take responsibility for their behaviour. They shift the blame. So if they do apologise, it's as insincere as everything else that comes out of their mouths, or there's conditions, there's terms to the apology. They can turn around and claim, I'm sorry you feel that way, but if you weren't so sensitive, maybe this wouldn't have happened. It's always, I'm sorry you, I'm sorry if, I'm sorry but. Never, I'm sorry I, because they're not going to take responsibility for their behaviour. Instead, they look to shift the blame. They refuse to take responsibility, and instead they shift the blame onto the others in situations where they don't want to be held responsible. If they miss an important event, they'll claim that you're the one that forgot to remind them. Yet if you remind them, they'll accuse you of treating them like a child and they don't want your reminders. They'll claim they couldn't help it, that the traffic was awful, and that you know how unpredictable things can be. So it's very challenging to call them out because traffic can be unpredictable. Things can be unpredictable. Things happen in life. However, with a narcissist, it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. It's who they are, and they refuse to take responsibility for their behaviour. They blame everybody else. It's wise to avoid those who make you feel responsible for everything they do wrong. Any ways you notice a narcissist react to being held accountable, please do add those into the comments for people reading. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: How to Create Boundaries Around Those Who Have No Respect for Your Boundaries, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, How to Stay Sane and Break the Chain, Healing from Narcissistic and Emotional Abuse, A Narcissist Handbook, The Ultimate Guide to Understanding and Overcoming Narcissistic and Emotional Abuse, and Behind the Mask, The Rise of a Narcissist. If anyone is interested in those, they are all available on Amazon. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.